Alright, hi everybody, it's Bonkai922, and no, I did not go to Black Friday. Sorry. But some people actually, they don't want to do that shit. Like, seriously, come on, get with the program. What I did do, you can't see it, but I took out my air conditioner. I brought it down to recycling, because enough of that shit. It was noisy, and I don't want to freeze my ass off in this room. So, yeah, that's what I did today. Last night, a chapter came out. The spinoff, the other spinoff of the Attack on Titan. And, the guys, I think Ray, I don't know if anyone knows who Ray is. He's this upcoming YouTuber. Go check out his shit if you can. Your name Blaze Monkey. Yeah, go check out his shit. He told me a few things about the chapter, and I was like, okay. So I was reading it, and this was I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5. The ending was pretty good. I really liked the ending. The artwork is much better for the fall. I actually like this one. This one is enjoyable. Because what was interesting about this chapter, and I believe the chapter was called The Wings of Freedom, Chapter 1. And what ends on happening is majority of this is really just a chase. That's pretty much what this chapter is. It's Levi, and we find out the names of the two people who are with him. It's Levi, going through the town. There's this, in town, when I say town, there's this underground area underneath the area that is encompassed by Walls Sina, which is the capital. That underground area was supposed to be a place for people to live in, but they abandoned it, and that's what that is. And now the only people who live in that underground area are people who are poor or criminals. Yeah. That's pretty much the bare bones of it. So we get the beginning part of the chapter. It's pretty much just, it says, in the darkness, three shadows dance, and it says they're after us. And it's Levi, and these are the two people who are being followed by what seems to be the military police. And we get an explanation about the walls. And also it's saying that the capital is where the economics and politics are done. And I just explained to you guys what the whole underground city was. And they're apparently being chased by the military police. And we see that girl and that guy with Levi and saying, 50 meters behind us. He's saying basically they're behind us. And they're saying, oh, they never learn, and so on and so forth. And then she's like saying to him, well, Levi, that was awesome, right? And he says, don't be silly. No matter what happens, we can't let them follow us to the hangout. It's bothersome, but in this scene, he basically calls their name out. Isabel and Farland. So you got Isabel and you got Farland. So these are the two people that are with Levi, who I guess grew up with him. We don't know for sure, and we don't find out too much about these two yet. We'll probably find out later on, I guess, but for now we just know their names, because the prologue really didn't show anything else either. So they're getting followed, and he's just saying, Farland, Elizabeth, ready to go. They're good. He says, let's go. And they're basically swinging through the streets and using the 3D maneuverability gear to go on this bridge and swing from it. And she's like, Yahoo! And stuff and all that other jazz. And they're just zipping and zagging and all this other crazy shit. I'm like, God damn, this was some pretty interesting chase scenes. That's basically what it was. It was basically this huge chase scene between Levi, Isabel, and Varlin against what seems to be the military police. Later on, we find out it's somebody else. I'm not going to spoil it for this part, but yeah, you find out what it is. So basically, they're zipping through, and Elizabeth's saying, "Oh, are they really thinking about trying to catch us for the day?" And Farland's like, it seems weird that they're here, with us in the underground area, because you figured they would be worried about more important things upstairs, in ground level, in protecting the king and everything, the military police. So he finds it very strange, and about it, Lack upstairs, and he says, "What a bother." And then Levi also wonders. He wonders who it could be. He's like, to navigate through these crowds, like, who could it be? Could it be he's thinking about something during this scene? And pretty much the rest is just him running away from police. He says he then sees a pillar ahead, and he's going to actually zip line it and go around it to find out who these people are. Because he believes that it's not the military police. He does this, which was an interesting scene. I liked how, he was ziplining it, going around. It was like, pretty interesting. Pretty good action sequences with this scene, this running around thing. I thought it was interesting. He finds out it's not the military police. We see Erwin! Oh, shit. It's freaking Erwin, man. Yeah, so we see Erwin. We see the Wings of Freedom. So obviously it's him. And he's like, that was an awesome scene. Erwin was huge in this chapter. Yep. Call me Erwin fanboy? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. But anyway, he shows up, and Levi realizes that's him, and that he tells his friends that is the Survey Corps, and so on and so forth. And they're like, "Oh, those are the guys who fight the Titans," and so on and so forth, and they won't be able to get out easy. We won't be able to get away from them easy. And so on and so forth. And they're like, they embracing the challenge, and they basically go their separate ways, and they try to outrun these guys. So, and he's like saying, "Let's see what the Survey Corps can do." And it was pretty awesome, this chapter. Zipping and zagging through the streets. I was like, this was a sign. This was a new look towards the 3D maneuverability gear that we haven't seen in the world of Attack on Titan. Because majority of the time, when you see they use it, they're usually ziplining. They're ziplining through a town, but not with this kind of small proximity, this narrow spaces. They're able to zipline through these narrow spaces, which is very surprising with how small the area was, and I was really surprised by it. So, he's basically ziplining through it, Levi. And eventually, when it's done happening, he thinks he lost them. He lost the Survey Corps. He says, "I guess they were up for nothing. I guess I can go home now." He gets attacked out of nowhere by, it's that guy, the ones who smell people, who's the Survey Corps. He gets tackled by him, and Levi's like saying, he hits him away, and he's wondering, there should be another one, and then out of nowhere, it's Erwin, he went in. He was throwing Levi around, man. He hit Levi, Erwin, and then Levi came back with a punch. I was like, that was awesome. This was a slugfest between these two, Erwin and Levi. This is a pretty awesome chapter. I was digging it. And, he knocks out his sword and everything, and then it's like, stop right there, take a look around you. And it was this scene where Levi had it was this like this pick he was using as like a knife or something. I was like, yo, that was fucking crazy. And tells him to look around you, and they see that they caught them, and he's basically asking him, I want to ask you a few questions. And he wants to he asks, what's your name? And basically, how did you get this gear? And at one point, he's not answering him. And Erwin's like, you're planning to kill me and somehow escape. And the guy who smells people grabs him, throws him on the ground in the sewer water. He says, I'll ask you again. Where did you learn how to use that gear? He's not answering. And their friends ask him and say, nobody taught us how. And he says, we learned to survive in this wasteland, and this is what Varlin says. Someone who's never even tasted sewer water wouldn't understand. And he tells him even his name. Levi's not responding to him. And he finds his friends. And he's like, you bastard. He calls him a bastard. He says, what's your name? It's Levi. Levi, won't you make a deal with me? And this is when, as part of the chapter where Erwin's basically telling him, instead of us taking you guys to the military police, how about you guys join the Survey Corps instead? And he hesitates for a second, Levi, but then basically tells him to join the Survey Corps. And he says, chooses whatever you like. And he says, all right, I'll join the Survey Corps. And the ending was kind of, for some reason, the ending to me felt weird. Like, Erwin basically tell him, here's the deal. You join the Survey Corps, you help us and your friends, and you won't have to go to the military police for a capital punishment or anything like that. Or you get off to the military police, where they'll probably, you'll be in jail. And he decides to just abruptly say the Survey Corps. I thought that was probably the only one drawback of this chapter. I thought it was kind of rushed in a way. I thought they rushed it a little bit, just a little bit. That's why I'm giving this a 4. I thought that it would have been better if they've shown more before he just agreed to that. But still not too bad. I still liked it. 4 out of 5. But that fucking Erwin, man, that was awesome. No, Erwin was awesome this time. I was like, God damn. Erwin was a boss. Oh, shit. Erwin. Yo, he was awesome. That was an awesome, but the ending there, that was pretty awesome. With Erwin and Levi, I thought that was an awesome sequence there. So, pretty good chapter. Wait until next month, see how this goes forward. I'm guessing, I believe when he said join the Survey Corps, I think he meant all 3 of them. But we'll have to wait and see. So, yeah. But good chapter. I enjoyed it. It was a pretty good read. It was pretty quick, though. Pretty quick chapter. Aside from them running around, it was the good side. The good points of this chapter, I think, were how they were using the gear in a small proximity, really small proximity, and the ending. The ending with Levi going up against Erwin with that little slugfest there. That was pretty awesome too. But the only bad point I see is how abrupt the ending of the chapter was and how abrupt it is that Levi just joins the Survey Corps. But then again, they had his friends, Varlin and Isabel, So I guess he had to choose, you know. So, yeah, he had to join the Corps. But yeah, pretty good chapter. We'll see what happens next month. Yeah. You know, me reviewing reviewing so much. Reviewing the uh shit. Reviewing this, reviewing Kamigachi Kiro Zero, and reviewing the for the fall. But this is shaping up to be a very good spinoff with Levi. I hope it goes in a good direction. I hope we get to see how Levi went from being this to what he is now. Should be interesting. So yeah, that's the story, people. Bankai 922, good chapter. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, as far as everything else is concerned, as far as like Toriko and some other stuff, might get to do them early next week. Early next week. Yeah. So look forward to that. I'm Bankai 922. I will see you guys later. Erwin